All right, I just wanted to do a really quick check-in with you. I did that live stream with the prologue, really prolonged and kind of too much. Usually I would do something smaller. I think a lot of those themes are amazing. I just took 3 days to do chapter one, which wasn't even a huge chapter, but man, it has some amazing things to chew on. And I want to make sure I take it slow at the start. So this is just a really small check-in. I don't know what I will do for chapter one. I could do a big long something going through each scene. I filled everything in, or I could go through kind of off camera and get some main themes that have really stood out. That might be better, but either way, if you want me just to go through what I've done and kind of ramble the way I have, I'm happy to do that, or just a check-in like this. Like the things that have stood out to me, other than we have this, the assassins are at it, and they are targeting the bridge burners, and Duaker's here. I'm so happy Mallet is there. The bridge burners are detecting that this is going on, the ones that are there. We have this chill bias, or whatever his name was. He was like at the Finnest house looking at the Azath house because of Barrack and waiting for something to happen. And it seems like this is also something that Animander Rake is waiting to happen. And in this last scene, we have Crone come in and asking him this. And now we've had something get out. And and he's obsessed with this out. And that makes me think, when is that going to flip, potentially, and something has to get in? Remember, one of the horrors of Dragnapur is not being able to get out. And I think, well, what if the plan is to get in? The end of, and that's kind of that's me not knowing what that means, but it seems like it would make sense to eventually flip that. We think of Bruthen, or I think of Bruthen when he died. He's going into this other realm. We know that Haboric is in this other realm. We have people in these other realms. They want to keep people out. But the storms are coming. Omtos Falak is melting. Burn's fever's going. Eventually, you can't lay in these cracks anymore. You're going to have to turn and face the music, so to speak. That's how I think this is. You're going to have to toll the hounds. Maybe that's a part of. Maybe you got to all get eaten by a hound, right? I'm kind of obsessed with the blood on the face has come up several times, which makes you think of Red Mask a little bit because of the red. Blood on the face is something that these historians are talking about, that Barrack is listening about. This Mianis, was that the one? Or Makra is the one that's kind of this illusion that messes with people. It kind of seems to be tied with that. I'm very interested in that. I am interested also in the closing of these gates to Starvald. I can't remember if it's Demolane or whichever one. And perhaps this Leozen area. Osterk was like the first one to do that. And it's fun to see Barrack reading this, or Baruch. And this is something that I always glom onto in books. I read, in Mistborn, I loved Sazed. He really had that sort of thing. In The Way of Adan, I got kind of glommed onto the priest with the A name. I like, as people are going through lots of different manuscripts and trying to piece things together when there are inconsistencies and things, and even Animander Rake seems to be like, yeah, take them, but they all just seem like a bunch of hogwash. Seems like even he doesn't, these are stories about him, and either he doesn't believe them, or maybe he's forgotten and doesn't want to believe them, but I am super, super excited about that. Lots of stuff going on. So I could go. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough for now for chapter 1, so we don't get bogged down. And once we have some additional context, maybe that's the time to go into it. But really, really amazing start of the book, and there are some strong sort of things being foreshadowed, and there are some strong connotations like crazy in this one. This is one where I've had to reread paragraphs a few times, sentences a few times. Things have jumped out. Can't wait to get to Duiker. And Barrick, I'm glad I didn't glom onto him the first time because he was confused, but I was just confused about everything. Now I think I can hold on to this guy the way I held on to like Duiker, held on to Haboric, held on to some of these people from, Rautos was kind of that in a way for me as he was trying to figure out this stuff. He didn't really solve it, but again, that same sort of thing. And I think that's why people love this series. So I'm just going to leave that at that. If you want a more detailed thing, let me know. I think I'd be happy to do that, even if it's just opening a book and going through it. I understand a lot of people wouldn't want to hear that, and I don't want to bog people's feeds. But it would probably be more of what I just talked about with a little bit maybe more context. So if you think that's enough, then that's fine. Let's keep going. Started strong, really cool beginning. I'm so glad to be back in Darujistan, this place where there are assassins prowling the rooftops, and there are councilmen types that are a bunch of scumbags. We have this Chalice who has these two awful people kind of hitting on her in front of the husband, and he doesn't care. Just a lot of great world building. Glad Mallet's back. Picker and Blend and Antsy and Blue. Is her name Blue Pearl? Really awesome. Really awesome. I'm excited to see when more people will maybe show up. I'm waiting for Ganos to show up. I'm sure he'll show up eventually. Would it be 2 full books without him? Who knows? So, looking forward to where it's going. Looking forward to getting back to Animander Rake and his group. It sounds like they've set up shop in Black Coral because it kind of has the right atmosphere that they like. I'm very interested as well in maybe Krull is not at the center of the war as a participant, but he's like the prize. The Warrens, it seems like, are the prize. It's a battle for these Warrens. Very interested. I hope we get more details about the crippled god and really why he's this way, because like, why did he get pulled down? I understand it was like this final ditch attempt, and I still don't really understand that guy. I can't wait to go back to, I think it was Deadhouse Gates that had all these epigraphs about the crippled god, and I can't wait. So if that's enough, then that's great. If not, onward to chapter 2. So talk to you guys soon.